Once the Democrats got power, folks, they used it. They used it to support enemies of the United States, to import millions of unvetted illegal alien foreign nationals, and to give your entitlement money that these leftists claimed was our money to those illegal aliens. Now it appears that to secure that power, Democrats did what all leftists do. They lied. Democrats lied to acquire power, they lied when wielding that power, and they lied to keep that power over you. Zeroing in on President Autopen, that's my focus in today's preamble. Before we address the person or persons who had been lording over us in Joe Biden's name, let me remind all of you the lengths that the leftists in the Democrat Party, the leftists in the press, and their key apologists in the GOP went to in order to sell the real big lie that Joe Biden was up to the task of president.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
You're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with him.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details, probing on the details, asking tough questions. Absolutely. I'm incredibly proud.
I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
I work very closely with President Biden, and I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
I think that Joe Biden brings such wisdom, judgment, experience to the job of presidency, and he is a great president.
I, met with the president, 5 or 6 weeks ago. We had a great discussion. He seemed fine to me.
I engage with him frequently and alert, sound, does his homework, reads the papers, reads all the read-ahead material, and is very, very engaging in issues of very serious matters of war and peace and life and death.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. And I debate with him about legislation, and not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there.
Yeah. But not only were Democrats who surrounded Joe Biden lying about his mental capacity, they were also lying about his physical capacity. As Joe Biden just revealed, he has metastatic prostate cancer, a disease medical professionals, even committed left-wing medical professionals, say that he's had for years.
So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you were saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency.
Like Jake Tapper, Morning Brzezinski there, singing a very different tune than when he was running cover for Joe Biden's massive and disqualifying loss of mental acuity.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
So now that I've outlined the lies told by leftists in the media and government to capture power, let's examine what they did with that power, shall we? According to the DHS Inspector General, the Democrats turned our taxpayer-funded government into pimps, delivering over 320,000 illegal alien children into hell on earth, sex slavery and forced labor, all in an effort to pack America full of illegal aliens from 168 countries. The death and crime rates skyrocketed, as you all know, all because of Democrat policies that certain key Republicans voted to fund without exception with your money. Here's more of what Democrat values and American taxpayer money bought.
We just found one 2 days ago, an example, 14-year-old little girl living with 2 adult males who trafficked her, and we found her she's pregnant. From trafficking, being forced into prostitution. 14 years old. So we're taking care of her, both physically and mentally. Despite what the media says, we're not heartless. We care about these kids. I'm a father. And the reason I'm so emotional and so headstrong on this issue, because I've dealt with dying children throughout my career. I've held dying children. I've held dead children. I talked to little girls as young as 9 that were raped multiple times by the criminal cartels. I'll never forget it. When you get on your knees to talk to a 9-year-old little girl, everything innocent and pure is ripped from her, and she don't believe in humanity anymore because you had a bunch of animals crawling on her and taking everything pure from her. You'll never forget it.
All brought to you by Democrats. Democrats like Senator Chris Van Hollen. Here's a guy who was key in selling the Biden is sharp narrative so that illegal aliens could not only break into this country, but also stay. He's the guy who flew down to Venezuela, remember, to have drinks with an illegal alien terrorist gangbanger whose wife is on tape accusing him of horrific domestic abuse. But Senator Van Hollen and his Democrat Party didn't stop there. No. Democrats stormed an ICE facility where some of these illegal alien criminals are being stored pending deportation. The Justice Department has filed charges against a New Jersey Democrat, LaMonica McIver. She's charged with 2 counts of assaulting, resisting, and impeding law enforcement officials in connection with that incident at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Newark. Van Hollen is also fighting to keep foreign nationals who allegedly come to our country to study, but in turn organize riots, end up barricading campus facilities, and impeding American students and those who pay good money to attend university and get a so-called higher education. Democrats think it's great to invite guests into our country who then trash our country or break our laws. That's certainly no reason to get rid of them, say these leftists. Democrats, you see, they love foreigners who hate our nation just as much as Democrats do. Watch Secretary Marco Rubio get constantly interrupted because Democrats like Chris Van Hollen don't believe in free speech and are so insecure at having their anti-Americanism challenged, they can't allow facts to get in the way of their leftist narrative.
I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
May I respond?
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job. Based on what I know.
Well, that's just a flippant statement, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
You may.
I didn't ask.
Senator, please let the Secretary have
I'd be happy to, but then I can respond to his.
Your time's up, Senator, and willfully used, I might add.
Well,
your remarks do not represent the view of this committee.
Well, Mr.
Secretary, please.
Well, I'd like to. I can't respond to everything he said because much of these are untrue, but I'll go through a few. First of all, I'm actually very proud of the work we've done with USAID. For example, I don't regret cutting $10 million for male circumcisions in Mozambique. I don't know how that makes us stronger and more prosperous as a nation. I don't regret psychosocial support services.
I raised Sudan, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond,
Senator, I'd ask you to suspend. You had 7 straight minutes of
I chose to use my time that way, Mr. Chairman. That's my right to
Please
use
suspend
my time that way.
Secretary Rubio.
Well, I can go on. I mean, there's other things here. We spent $227,000 for Big Cat's YouTube channel from USAID. We spent $14 million for social cohesion in Mali, whatever the hell that means. And if you have a
First
visa
Amendment
and we find you, we'll revoke it.
In the United States?
And we're going to do more. There are more coming. We're going to continue to revoke the visas of people who are here as guests and are disrupting our higher education facilities. People are paying money. These kids pay money to go to school, and they have to walk through a bunch of lunatics
to the
who are here on student
papers
visas.
disrupting the foreign policy of the United States.
I want to do more. I hope we can find more of these people.
That's pathetic, Mr.
In fact, the other day, some guys led a riot. I forgot what university it was, and I asked, please, can you find the arrest records of all the people that were arrested at that riot at that campus? Because if any of them have a visa, we're going to revoke it.
I feel so much safer when you lock up people like Ms. Ozturk, Mr. Secretary.
We've had enough.
That's going to lead us to President Autopen, folks. Republicans claim they know who the identity of President Autopen, the person or persons impersonating Joe Biden, and signing multiple pardons while Joe was out of the country, and various bills and executive orders as well. If Joe Biden was of sound mind and health, and it can be established that there was no way that Biden could have known about all of these signatures that could be used to invalidate many of the harmful power grabs unleashed on the U.S. by these liars we know as Democrats. President Trump and Congress are laser focused on all of this. Watch.
I think that if you take a look, it's the same doctor that said that Joe was cognitively fine. There was nothing wrong with him. Well, he said, if it's the same doctor, he said there was nothing wrong there. And that's being proven to be a sad situation. And the Autopen is becoming a very big deal. You know, the Autopen is becoming a big deal because it seems like that maybe was the president who ever operated the Autopen. But when they say that that was not good, they also, you know, you have to look and you have to say that the test was not so good either. In other words, there are things going on that the public wasn't informed, and I think somebody's going to have to speak to his doctor, if it's the same, or even if it's two separate doctors. Why wasn't the cognitive ability, why wasn't that discussed?
Note to all you leftists out there, in America, you see, we don't let the bank robber keep the money they stole. We don't let government admit evidence into court if it was illegally obtained. We don't reward illegal and unethical activity. The real big lie that was run by Democrats in the Congress and in the media is one such unethical and, I believe, illegal effort. And not only should we invalidate all of the harm the Democrats did and are trying to do to us, we should also prosecute to the fullest extent of the law those who broke our laws and the public trust to do all that harm. And as President Trump has indicated, prosecuting the degenerate or degenerates responsible for President Autopen for treason, well, that's a good start. You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.